Hey guys, this week for Weapons Wednesday, we're looking at this new super innovative survival walking stick, as well as some of the other weapons we just added to the KarateMart.com website. But before we begin, if you could just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. So last week, I showed you guys a bunch of our newest bladed weapons on the KarateMart.com website. And then I asked you to go to the community tab and vote for which one you liked best. And there were some really cool weapons last week too, so it was a tough choice. But you guys went to the community tab and voted for the Rugged Combat Parang. Absolutely love it, completely agree. This was definitely my favorite as well. I just love the blade on this thing. That 1075 carbon steel with that hammer steel design is so beautiful. So excellent choice, guys, absolutely love it. But this week, I asked Amanda to go back into the warehouse and find some of her favorite new weapons that we just added to the website. So, without further ado, Amanda, what is our very first item?
Here you go.
Awesome, thank you. All right, let's see what this is. And just so you guys know, there's going to be links to all of these items in the video description. So our very first item is the Polypropylene Mini Slugger. Okay, that's cool. Oh, wow. This is interesting. So I guess for me, when I first see this, I think tire thumper, but this is a little bit larger than a standard tire thumper. Very cool. This is made out of that super durable polypropylene that is very difficult to break. So I definitely think we're gonna have to test this out to make sure that it is super strong. I'm actually really into this. You know why I'm into this so much is because this would be just as much of a self-defense training weapon as it could be an actual defensive weapon. So I absolutely love this. I could see using this in martial arts classes just to try out your different techniques, but also as a self-defense weapon, I mean, this thing is hard to beat. It's pretty awesome. So first off, we can see that it's got kind of a standard baseball bat grip there. So that's gonna be really comfortable for you. And then the knob at the end is kind of bulbous, so we can use that for non-lethal strikes. We could actually use that for hammer strikes if we wanted to. But this thing is heavy duty too. I mean, this thing's gonna hurt if it hits something. I'm just gonna smack this Wing Chun dummy really quick. Move it out of the way just a smidge. So yeah, I mean, you probably couldn't see that, but a whole bunch of sawdust and wood just fell off of that thing. And this thing is not gonna break easily at all. So I love this. I think it's really awesome. So some of the things we need to know about it. First off, it's got this kind of wood grain texture on the whole thing, which I absolutely love. That's just a little detail that makes this look like more of a wooden bat. But this polypropylene is going to be way stronger than wood. This thing's going to hold up so nicely. And then it looks like it's got a total length of about 20 inches, so that's a really good length. Generally, when we're looking at things like tire thumpers, they're a little bit smaller than that. But that actually brings out an interesting point. Tire thumpers are actually illegal in a lot of areas, so it's very important that you check your local laws just to make sure that something like this is not illegal in your areas as well. So very important just to check your local laws on all the weapons I'm going to show off today. So it looks like the bat diameter is approximately 1.5 inches. That's a pretty good diameter. And this thing weighs approximately 1 pound, 3 ounces. So that is a nice weight for this. It's not so heavy that it's hard to swing, but it's got enough weight that it's actually got some heft to it. So I absolutely love this. I think it's super awesome. And I don't think there's anything else to really say about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this away and let's move on to our next item. All right, Amanda, what is our very next item?
Here you go.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, cool. All right, and our very next item is the Stealth Assault Neck Knife. Awesome, awesome. I love neck knives, and this one's really unique. I actually like this a lot. So first off, we can see that it has a really nice Kydex sheath on it, which holds your blade really securely. So I absolutely love Kydex sheaths, and that's very important when it comes to neck knives, because you do not want your knife falling out of its sheath. That would be a really bad thing. And then second off, we can see that it actually has this breakaway chain on there, which some people will say that they don't like the breakaway chains, and they'll actually swap swap them up for paracord. But the nice thing about breakaway chains is that when you have it on, if someone were to try to grab the necklace and actually choke you with it, that breakaway chain will just break right off. So that's definitely an advantage to a breakaway chain. So I like that. But let's see the knife itself. Oh wow, that is a beautiful little neck knife. I absolutely love this. So first off, the thing that's most impressive to me is it has this really nice ergonomic design to it. I love how my fingers just fit in there so nicely, and then it just feels comfortable on my hand. Like I've got a good place for my thumb on there. I feel like I have good control with this blade. I absolutely love the top toe tip on there. I think that's very, very awesome. And then we can see that it's got a G10 handle on there too, which makes this super comfortable because a lot of the time with neck knives, they're just so small that they're not very comfortable and you can't get good control with them. But I feel like I could have pretty good control with this neck knife. So I actually like that quite a bit. And we can also see that this is a full tang blade that goes all the way through the handle. So I really like that a lot. The blade itself is made from a 3CR13 stainless steel, which is definitely not my favorite steel, but I do like the fact that it is corrosion resistant. And then this one actually has this really nice stonewash finish to it. So I love the fact that that gives it kind of a stealthy, sleek look. I think that's so cool. But I want to actually try this on because one of my favorite things about neck knives is how concealable they are. So I just want to make sure this one's actually very easy to conceal. So let's put it under my shirt. So I have a very tight shirt on and I think it's still pretty inconspicuous. I mean, it's there, you can kind of see it there, but I think that's pretty well concealed, especially considering I have a tight shirt. But let's see how easy it is to get out. So if I needed it, I just kind of pull down. And look how easily that came out. That's actually perfect. So neck knives are really awesome if you've got some training. So this specific neck knife has a blade length of approximately 2 inches, which is important to know because some states have laws about what blade length you can have on your knife. And it's got a total length of approximately 5 inches. And the knife weighs only 1.3 ounces. So that is super light for this knife. But I absolutely love this. I think this is a really cool neck knife, but there's not much else to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is our very next weapon?
There you go.
Thank you. Oh, cool. I was hoping we'd show these off. All right, and our next weapon is the coin purse slapjack. Awesome, awesome. I saw these come in. Super into these. So cool. So you can see that we've got a brown one and a black one. So a couple of weeks ago, I showed off some of our sap weapons, including the slapjacks. So this is along the same lines as those. These are basically a coin purse where we add in some coins and then they become a sap weapon. So very cool. And now I understand why you brought out my change jar. Can you grab my change jar for me?
There you go.
Thank you. This has been sitting in my office for a while. It's kind of sad. I should have more change in this over time, but I do have a silver dollar in there, so that's kind of neat. All right, so let's take a look at the black one. I want to see how this works. So it looks like we kind of unzip the zipper, and let's just add some coins into this thing. Okay. I'm curious how many coins we're going to be able to add, and if they're supposed to only go on the top section, or if they're supposed to go all the way down the handle. So I think it's good we're actually testing this out just to kind of see how these things work. But it looks like it can actually hold quite a bit of coinage. So that's kind of neat. Okay, so I'll kind of shake it a little bit. Looks like the coins kind of stop there. So it looks like the coins kind of just sit up in the top section. But I can actually fit a lot more in here. I don't want to waste all day doing this, but I'll just add that many for now. But you can actually fill it up all the way up there, and I don't think that they can get down into the handle. No, it looks like they're kind of stopped there. But that's kind of important because you actually kind of snap this side together, and then it goes around your belt. So let's actually try that. Let's see how that works. Okay, so I hook that around my belt, and then I just kind of snap that, and then I've got this kind of coin purse sitting on the side of my body, so that's pretty neat. And then if I needed it, I just kind of unsnap it, pull it out. Holy cow. I honestly don't know why I just did that, but that actually really hurt. But I guess we got to test this thing, right? So Give it a couple of slaps. Yeah, there's some pain there for sure. But a couple of weeks ago in my video where I showed off the slapjacks, I kind of gave some examples of how and when to use these things because they are an effective weapon, but it's one of those weapons that you really need to do some training with if you're going to use something like this. So they would actually be used on your temple, they could be used in the mandibular angle, they could also be used on the back of your head, but you really need to learn some techniques before even considering using a weapon like this. But I actually want to test this out a little bit. I mean, we've got the Wing Chun dummy right here. I know that this is some really heavy duty leather, but I want to make sure it holds up really nicely with this. So I'm just going to hit the arms of the Wing Chun dummy, just see how well it holds up. Wow, I mean, I was hitting that really hard. There is no damage to that at all. That's good quality leather. This is good workmanship. So I'm actually super into this. I think it's very cool. And then also you can see that it's got this lanyard hole on there. So that's pretty cool. Like if we wanted to add a wrist strap to it, that would actually be a nice little feature to add. It looks like the overall length of this is approximately 10 inches. And the width is approximately 3 1/8 inches. And then it weighs, without coins in it, approximately 1.5 ounces. Now I've added quite a few coins, so I would say we're probably getting around the range of 6 ounces now with this thing, which is pretty heavy duty. I actually like that. And then as I mentioned in the beginning, it also is available in brown. So I think this is awesome. Very, very innovative idea. But let's go ahead and put this away and move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is our very next weapon?
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, let's see what this is. Cool. All right, and our very next weapon is the split blade push dagger. Very cool. Okay, interesting. So first off, we can see that it does have a nylon case to it. It's not the heaviest duty nylon case in the world, but it does look like it holds the blade securely. And it does have a belt loop on there, so that's going to sit nicely on the side of your body, so that's cool. But I want to see the blade itself. Okay, there we go. So we can see that it does have that split blade design to it. Now, generally, I'm not a huge fan of split blade knives. You see them more on fantasy type weapons, but there's a huge group of people that absolutely love these type of knives. And that's just because they're just a little more unique, they're a little more intimidating. Plus, if you're stabbing something, they actually have 2 points of entry. So it's just kind of an interesting thing. My concern always is that you're kind of, by splitting a blade in half, you're taking away some of its strength and durability. So that's always my concern with a split blade knife. But this does look really, really cool. Some of the things I noticed first off is that this is a 440 stainless steel blade with a black finish to it. So I'm not a huge fan of 440 stainless steel, but that is going to be corrosion resistant, especially with that black finish on there. It is full tang and it goes all the way through the handle, but I actually really like this handle. It's got this texturized ABS grip that feels really comfortable. And then I like how it actually kind of is longer on this section of the handle, which makes it really comfortable in my hands. So if I'm going to actually strike something with this, that's actually going to take off more shock from this area of my palm than it would if it had that shorter handle that you see on a lot of push daggers like this. So let's actually test this out a little bit. I mean, I've got the Wing Chun dummy right here. I want to see how well this actually strikes. So I'm just going to stab this really quick. Oh yeah, that actually stabbed in really nicely. You can see that that actually went in quite a ways into that Wing Chun dummy. And that's in there really securely, so yeah. I had to actually use some force to pull that out. And the blade tips are still in perfect condition, so that's pretty nice. That actually tells me that that blade's gonna hold up pretty well for you. So it looks like the blade length of this is approximately 3 inches, and the total length of this is approximately 4 3/4 inches, and the total weight is approximately 3.1 ounces. So I like the weight of this knife. I think it's super comfortable. The blades are really sharp and the tip is super sharp. I don't think there's anything else to really say about this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this away and let's move on to our last item. All right, Amanda, what is our last weapon?
There you go.
Thank you. All right, a big one. Let's see what this is. Okay. The Outdoor Survival Walking Stick. Very cool. Okay, so first off, we can see that it comes with this bag, and it looks like, wow, this is nuts. So this walking stick actually can be broken down and put into this little satchel. So I think that's actually really, really cool. So I'm not familiar with this weapon at all, and I know that there's a whole bunch of survivalists that watch our channel, so I might get some things wrong here. So if you guys see some things that I kind of mess up on, please let me know in the comments, just so that we can get better information on this thing, but I'll do my best. So let's just take a look at this guy. So first off, when it is put together like this, we can see that it's got this kind of pointy head here, which could be used as a war hammer. That could also be a glass breaker. So that's pretty neat. And then, oh yeah, and then that unscrews too. So I guess if we unscrew that, that actually gives us a Yawara. So that's kind of neat. For those of you who aren't familiar with Yawara, they're kind of like a Kubotan. They can be used as a fist-loaded weapon. They also are really good for pressure points, joint manipulations, but this is one of those weapons that you really, really need to be trained in order to be used effectively. I definitely wouldn't just hand this to somebody and say, hey, use this as a weapon, because it is kind of a difficult one to learn. But it also has this really nice compass on the back, so that's pretty nice. I mean, I used to do a lot of camping and survival stuff when I was younger, and there were times when I really needed that compass. So that is such an incredible tool. May seem simple, very important. So that's nice to have that on there. And then let's actually unscrew both these sides on here. So first off, we can see that they are waterproof sections, so that's kind of neat. And then it looks like we've got a flint fire starter there. So there must be a blade on this staff in order to actually strike that fire starter. So we'll look for that in a minute. And then if we unscrew the other side of this, what do we have in here? Oh, okay, so a whistle. So just to give you fair warning, if you have headphones on, I'm gonna try this whistle, so it might be loud. Just take off your earphones. Here we go. That is a really loud whistle. So if you're in an emergency situation where you're lost out in the woods, that whistle could come in really handy. So I actually like that a lot. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put this little section away, and let's see what else we've got. Okay, I'm gonna screw that back on there really quick. Pretty neat. So this is definitely a really heavy duty aluminum alloy. This thing's gonna hold up really nicely for you. This is not some cheap garbage aluminum. That's actually really heavy duty. And then I actually really like how there's knurling up top here, here, here. So that's gonna give you a really good grip for whatever you're using on this thing. So let's just go ahead and unscrew this right here and see what's in here. Again, it's nice and waterproof sealed, so that's pretty cool. Okay, there we go. That's pretty nice. So obviously we can see that we've got a clip point blade here. This is a combo edge blade. We've got a serrated section here and then a plain edge there. And that's actually pretty sharp too, so that's nice. So we could use this as a spear. I actually like that. We could use this if we had to do some hunting. There's all kinds of tasks we could use that for if we're in a survival situation. So I actually like that quite a bit. And let's open up some other sections of this. Okay, so that unscrews there. And then, okay, it looks like we've got a double-pronged spear here. So we would obviously use that for spear fishing or something. That could also be used for cooking. I could see that being put over a campfire to actually roast some stuff. So I think that's pretty neat. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, here we go. Another section. Okay, and in this section we've got, oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. So that is a serrated talon blade. That's pretty interesting. Wow, that is a really sharp serration. And then we can see there's a sawback back there. So there's all sorts of survival purposes we could use this for. We could actually use this for cutting down plants. We could use it for stripping bark if we had to. Throw stuff in the comments, guys, if you want to add what else we could do with this. But I think that would be an extremely valuable blade to have. Looks like we also have a bottle opener down there, so that's pretty nice. And what's so cool about this also is we can just kind of mix and match these sections so we can make them all the same length of the spear if we want. Just kind of put them in whatever order we want. And then at the bottom of this, we can see that they kind of laid it into steps right here. But that would actually come in really handy because that would give you some stability when you're trying to hike. And then also you could actually use that for like non-lethal defensive purposes. So I think that that's actually a really cool little detail that would come in very handy with this little walking stick. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if that, yeah, it looks like that unscrews too. Let's see if there's anything on the end here. No, there's nothing else really in there, but I do like the fact that we could throw some matches in there. We could actually fill that with all sorts of things that would come in handy for survival purposes. So that's pretty awesome. So it looks like each of these blades is approximately 4.5 inches. So that's really good to know. And then this thing actually can be broken down to this size, which means that it's only going to be about 8 inches by 6 inches when this thing's fully broken down. So that's pretty neat. And then this thing actually has an adjustable shoulder strap on it, so that's pretty nice. Now the total length of this walking stick is approximately 39 inches when it's all put together, and it weighs approximately 1 pound, 11.8 ounces. So that's actually fairly light. And I like that too, because when you're doing a lot of hiking, you don't want to be carrying around something that's hugely heavy. So I think that's pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put this back together really quick just so we can actually see how easy it is to rebuild this walking stick. But I'm super digging this. I think this would be awesome for survival purposes. Very innovative idea. I love how smart people are out there that can kind of figure things like this out. So very, very cool. So make sure you guys go to the community tab and vote for which weapon you like best this week. But if you have any questions on this or any of the other items I showed off in this video, definitely leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out KarateMart.com because we've got all sorts of really cool weapons on there right now. But until next week, we'll see you Weapons Wednesday.